Chump.
Chump might not want himself to win. It's hard to say. Chump might just want to bail and be like, "That was good. I'm out." If he wins, he has to play me, and then whoever wins this, I have to play. So it actually matters to me, and I get to see someone's style. So.
Yeah. That can be pretty nice for a tournament, especially. We've seen some really nice scavenger spots so far this game with 3 high aluminum tiles, 2 high carbon tiles, and I believe both of them have adjacency with a low carbon. Sagire's gone ahead and jumped right into the middle of the water, aluminum, and carbon at the start of the match, so he's going to have a really nice position to start this game off, whereas Chump, he found it in the middle of a bunch of silicon. He's going to be able to secure those resources, but they're going to be farther away. And he's not going to have access to the water in quite the same way that the Sagire is.
Did I see it right? It looked to me like Sagire found it without actually seeing what was in that crater.
I think he saw what was in the crater. Chump hadn't seen what was in the crater yet, but the Sagire
Oh, you're looking at the other player.
I've been switching back and forth between
of
the
course,
two. So.
Of course. I mean, like, that would be a bold move right there.
Oh, that would have been, bold would have been one of the words you could use for that.
Bold, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's an awesome spot for a Sagire.
Yeah, both of them have secured a very strong scavenger spot still. I have to give it a little bit to the Sagire, but they're both really good.
Are they both medium-low?
They're both high-low.
They're both high-low.
Yeah,
okay.
they're both high-low. So that's 4.5 to each
I would love to
right
see
now.
an early nuke here.
Oh, a nuke would be fantastic
Early nuke
here.
would be a great early play. Get that early advantage since they're both obviously aiming for the same thing.
Although I think I probably wouldn't aim for the carbon on the nuke.
You'd aim for the aluminum?
I'd aim for the aluminum, for sure.
But Chump can't do that because the Sagire is just going to claim the other aluminum.
I know, Chump can't do that. But the Sagire certainly can.
Sure. Well, they could still both theoretically claim that high aluminum. One way or another, as soon as Sagire upgrades, he should definitely claim the high aluminum. Well, he just did. We'll see if he does it. He has not done it yet. He claimed the water. But of course, we're frozen by an auction.
Yeah, we're waiting on this auction, which did
good
go
early auction.
8,000 perpetual motion. That's going to make power interesting in this game.
Yeah, usually, it's hard to know what to do with power once perpetual motion's on the table so early.
Yeah, usually I actually kind of like to let my opponent spend quite a bit on perpetual motion and not worry about getting it too much. Just because that's less power into the market for everybody, right? That's less power being consumed in general. So it's just going to keep power price low regardless. And I don't really mind it working that way. Another geotherm claim from Chump. That's really surprising to me, actually.
Well, I guess he doesn't want to let what happened to him last game happen. But yeah, power is not going to be really high.
Yeah, we just saw perpetual motion go down, so power's not going to be so much of an issue. And on top of that, I think there are going to be a few good win spots this game that you might be able to turn into other tiles. So it's a decision that he made.
He made a choice.
We do have an oxygen shortage, so that's going to even tempt players towards reactors even more than usual, especially with all this water.
Chump does have a much more solid water start, because he's got the adjacent waters. So.
He does have the adjacent waters, but I'm kind of concerned that that was too many tiles to commit to it at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
he did 3.5.
Yeah, he definitely didn't need to because there's 3 other waters, so he wasn't going to get beaten to them.
On top of that, he claimed the wrong water tile. Like, no matter which way you look at it, he definitely claimed the wrong water tile for adjacency. So that was kind of unfortunate.
Look at that.
The EMP is going to hurt quite badly. So once again, should have been a power surge, no question.
But yeah, on 2 tiles, I think people don't know. I just think they just don't know.
Yeah, they don't know how much better power surge is than EMP. That's fine. At least for small numbers of tiles.
Yeah, exactly. It's there for that. I'm not sure what he means.
Why
I don't know what he's upset
about.
The Fog of Warcraft.
But once again, reactors are going to be fantastic. I think what we're going to see very, very shortly is the Sagire is going to upgrade. He's just going to probably pop down 3 reactors. One of them hitting the water and high aluminum tile. Oh, never mind.
He really should have claimed that other high aluminum. What did he do with his claims instead?
Well, he took the high water. He has the 2 carbon. He actually took a geotherm for himself, which once again I question at this stage of the game. And that was... Oh, yes. And he secured the high iron... low silicon tile, which is definitely what I would have done if I were the 2 players, just looking at this map.
Sure, yeah.
They're actually doing very well, both of them.
Okay, now he's finally grabbed the high aluminum, so I guess...
He took it, he's got reactors going down on it. That's actually, I'm not so sure about that anymore. it might still work out, but we've had this fuel surplus drive the price down quite heavily.
Well, what else would you go into right now?
That's a good question, and I honestly don't know. It's kind of a very, very strange situation. It might be worthwhile to go into steel for a while.
Interesting move since he has the iron. I was wondering that myself.
Yeah.
Normally that's not an option for a scavenger, but boy, if you build up an iron supply and then you short it, the other guy's just going to be sitting there holding the bag.
And the other huge thing is that, once again, these players have made power extremely cheap this game. Steel mills are going to be very, very easy to run, just as easy as reactors.
Yep.
And I think they would probably make more money.
Mm.
Not 100% sure, but it's quite possible.
I hate those.
I don't know about these pirates.
You gotta, with a match like this, when you're both the same type, you've got to find that edge that'll let you have an out that your opponent doesn't have.
Definitely. Right. I think steel can be a great edge in a scavenger versus scavenger
if you
match.
go that, you absolutely have to use the hacker ray. There's no way around it. I don't think we appreciate how little upward pressure there is on steel if there's no one in the map buying it. Like, the price of steel is not going anywhere unless you push it up yourself.
But that's so easy to do with the hacker ray.
Yeah, for sure. You just have to go through with it.
But I love the hacker ray in 1v1. I don't think I've played a 1v1 lately without it, so...
Yep.
Not really an issue in my opinion. Interestingly enough, we had Chump freeze out the Sagire's carbon and then pirate it, but those pirates were just so expensive. I don't know how that's going to work.
28,000? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, 28,000 pirates for carbon. That's $26 a pop right now.
That they both have, and they both have plenty of good sources of carbon. Yeah, that's
There's
good.
the stock.
I thought he learned his lesson last game.
Oh, guys, you're just gonna
one
give him
quick
a lot
little
of
stock
crap.
buy. Just being like, nah, I'm going to come for you later. It's pretty cheap right now, but it'll get cheaper.
4,000 a claim.
It used to be when you overbid on stock, the price would drop immediately. So I played a number of games where I bid up way too high in an auction, and I was out of the game within 60 seconds.
That's hilarious.
Hold on. What about bribing and claim? 4,000.
Well, okay, that's a good price.
I would just go for the claim.
Yeah, neither player has taken a claim yet, and I do have to say I think a claim would be a good idea. Also, this is kind of one of those games where glass is starting to look like an option, purely because it gives you a very clear transition into food.
Who is the silicon? Is there any... Well, it's so cheap. What happened? Was there a surplus?
Okay, here's the PB going.
might have been a
I
surplus.
disagree. I disagree with that. Incorrect. The neutral colony is a big consumer of steel early.
I've noticed the same thing as PB. I just didn't want to question it right away.
You even just look at it right now.
It's
compared to
$108.
everything else, every other resource at that price, it is definitely the cheapest to produce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
one of
thinking.
the very big disadvantages of Scavenger is that they don't get access
not
to
able
that
to sell
awesome
into
early
that.
steel market.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with PB here. Steel is usually a fantastic resource, even for scavengers. There have been games where I just make steel because other players have decided to skip it, and why not? Oh man, that glass surplus might change the game though.
You guys, this tourney is giving me a lot of ideas on how to make the next tourney.
I think that's a new carbon. I don't think that was there earlier, unless I just completely skipped over
Well,
it.
if all the carbons are claimed, then there could be a new carbon.
Yeah. I think that might have been what happened. The Sagire takes it for 5,000. That seems pretty cheap for a carbon tile. I know that carbon's kind of inexpensive right now, but later on, like, it can get pretty important when you're playing Scavenger.
Yep. By the way, just so you know, the way the colony is going to change a lot in the next update. And I think I was sort of thinking about the way the game works now, which is now the colony no longer upgrades itself during the game in regular multiplayer. So you're no longer going to see that steel pressure from the colony.
Interesting. Okay, that might be why we have differing opinions on that.
Yeah. Instead, it's just going to be like, and it's a lot simpler now. If you see labs in the colony, that means you know there's going to be pressure on chemicals. If you see offices, you know there's going to be pressure on electronics. If you see a lot of housing, you know there's going to be life support pressure, that type of thing.
Interesting. That'll be that'll
And
change
then
the game a bit. Make it a lot more important to pay attention.
We'll try to color code it sooner now, knowing that.
that would be nice, you know.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of
just
info
glance
from
at
the
it.
colony there. Yeah, and the actual upgrade of the colony happens in the campaign, and in that one, the actual players decide how they upgrade the colony, and they actually spend the steel and glass to do it.
That's really interesting.
So that's going to change the campaign a lot.
But yeah, steel. We do have the Sagire deciding to move into steel. I like it.
Yep.
It'll make you money, and that's what matters in the game. He actually planted, I love this, he planted a farm on the carbon tile. That's hilarious to me. It makes a lot of sense, but man, it's funny.
Yeah. So how much of Chump's current debt is based off of his auctions?
Well, a significant amount, right? He's not the only thing he's really gaining debt in right now is food, and even that's not that bad. It's only 70 a second.
Yeah.
So I think most of it is going to be, frankly, over half of it is just that pirate auction right now.
Yeah. Interesting.
At 50,000.
The Sagire is not selling power again.
Yep. He's the one that got perpetual motion. He knows it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So he's just trying to drive that power price up.
Yeah. Chump is making a little bit of cash on power, so I think not selling is not necessarily the great thing, but, you know.
Well, $12.
Not a big deal.
You can let your opponent have $12 a second for free when you're in that position, especially because it's just, I mean, he's still gaining debt, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. Like, Chump could easily throw down another power, and then somebody actually makes
I think the Sagire does know that. You know, it's... When you're a good enough player, you can know how much power is being consumed by checking around the map. And the Sagire, from what I've seen, he's not a bad player by any means.
He must be pretty good because the choice to turn off power in the last game was a great choice.
Exactly, and a strange one.
Really
Once
brilliant.
again, this is happening again. The Sagire just being a little bit more patient with auctions, not driving them up quite so high. And then he gets the next one, and he only gets paid 4,000 for those pirates.
This is really weird. Chump has just... He's ruined himself in these games based off of his auctioning.
Yeah.
I don't understand
how aggressive to go.
Just go for it.
I mean, at 4,000, he should know he could push him up more at least. At least get him to 8,000, 10,000. I mean, anyone's going to go up that high.
Yeah, I'm also very concerned about this electronics factory, which I'm pretty sure is actually just... Well, it's making some money, but it's not very much.
He is taking the government and water.
Mm-hmm.
Sagire decided
those
that
cheap
now is
pirates.
the time.
Yeah.
He needs silicon, but he built farms. Well, food is 150.
Yeah, he needs farms. Farms are totally a reasonable option right now.
Why do you think that electronics isn't worth it at this point?
He's making 0.25 electronics a second right now. Like, that tile could be making so much more money committed elsewhere. If it were just another farm with the adjacency bonuses attached to it, how much more money would it be making? It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Electronics, only 0.25 a second. That's at most. Even if it cost him absolutely nothing to run that electronics factory, it's $40 a second. And that's nothing.
You gotta remember, electronics factories work half as much as every other building, so you really need a triangle before it's even worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trump is Chump is he's more used to the pacing of a large scale multiplayer match where you
dynamite.
Oh man, Sagire just dropped the load on Chump.
Yep.
Blew up his Geo.
He's prepping for the kill.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, Chump finally threw down something worth taking out, you know? That's what it came down to.
Oh, no.
Well, and more importantly than that, Chump started actually moving into the Sagire's market, and that's what you really want to hit, is when somebody's trying to interfere with where you're making your money. That's not okay.
Yep.
Trump should start taking more sick days.
You guys were acting like I was being mean. Come on.
Well, I was already looking forward to Dorian and Chump's potential match later this week. I was thinking, this is great. We'll stream it on Thursday. But
Yeah, sure.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think
that-
it's going to be the Sagire.
that idea is now done. We'll have to invite Sagire.
Another thing worth noticing is just how effective a power surge is going to be through all of this. He's already hit him with one.
Yeah.
If he chooses another...
Yeah, that one is beautiful.
Ridiculous.
Power Surge will skirt around the colony like that. Basically, if it has only one choice of where to go, it'll just
go that way. Yep. I've noticed that, trust me, with defended tiles, when people set up those nice big clumps of 7 and then they defend it in the middle and they're like, EMP's not going to hit me. You just EMP the middle one, have Power Surge saved up, and hit the ring of 6 outside of it for free.
Yep. Even if there had been a triangle there somewhere, it could have it could have bent back on itself and died. But when you have that just ring around your colony, like, you're just asking for it.
Yep. More and more farms for the Sagire. No surprise whatsoever. He's just kind of pushing for the win at this point. Steel is starting to peter out. It's not going to be worth it for that much longer based on the power cost, but food's staying very, very high, and he's just going to keep it that way with black market, I imagine. Interestingly, no hacker array. That's what I would do to end the game at this point.
Hacker array.
But the Sagire choosing to just kind of upgrade, go for it. Chump's maybe trying to scare him a bit, trying to stay in the game with some stock buys, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, he's being conservative, I think. Like, the hacker array is always a little risky because you're...
No, it's not. You have good spots.
He could hack Steel. It's not really risky. He could hack Steel. Obviously, there's nothing Chump can do about it.
Yeah.
So, you're right.
And plus, when you're a scavenger, it's much, much easier to control those markets with the hacker array just by combining it with the black market effects, having the easy access to the goon squad, and still being able to shut down your opponent very effectively.
Yeah, goon squad is 4,000. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's bothered this game.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
actually makes life a lot
advanced field
easier
kit.
for the attacker because you don't have to guess where the goon squad is hanging out.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah. It's nice sometimes just to buy the goon squad and hold on to it, just so you know your opponent, can't just do whatever it wants with immunity.
Yep. The Sagire responding to the fuel shortage, no big surprise there. Goes back into his reactors that he had scrapped for food. And he's just gonna keep making money and see what he can do with it. He's got a nice position. Not as nice as he would like, right? He's actually catching up in debt to Chump. But he's also using that much more effectively. You can see Chump doing things like he's got a stockpile of food, he's got a stockpile of fuel. And with a lot of players, you'll actually see them just sell those things constantly to ensure that they aren't developing a stockpile and basically their stockpile isn't getting eaten the whole time. And instead, they'll make sure as much of that is going into debt as possible so they have as much spending money as possible.
Right.
So that's also kind of interesting to look at. I think the Sagire should have it before too terribly long. He only has to develop up to $44,000. He's currently sitting at $6,000. And those farms and fuel production and water pumps shouldn't take much long to finish the game for him. Shouldn't take much longer.
Oh. Poor Chump. I want him to win.
He's giving him 2 good locations to power surge.
Yeah, he is. But
I hate those filthy bandits.
At least power surges are 20,000 now, but I guess.
well, it's true. You can tell that
why.
they've been on top of that. They've really been attacking each other and using that scavenger trade a lot more than we've seen at most points in this game. How often do you see claims at half price of power surges and EMPs?
Yeah, for sure. But one well placed goon squad could have really killed
so
that
many
power
problems.
surge.
I know. Like a goon squad, you can tell they're kind of playing around possible goon squad positionings because they're not placing their stuff ideally. Like that EMP could have hit more things and more effectively, but he was playing around the goon squad even though it wasn't there.
Yeah, you know it's not there. The thing is, you can almost tempt someone with a power surge there. I mean, what I would do is put a power surge. You see those farms on the left side of Chump's colony? Put a power surge 1 step in, tempt someone to put a goon squad 1 step in, tempt someone to put a power surge on the end, and then that power surge just gets eaten immediately.
Can be very effective. I imagine these are going to be silicon quarries. Very good decision right now, moving into those. Trying to move into glass, trying to make his reactors work, but I don't know if it's going to happen. He did freeze out the Sagire's reactors, which is where most of his money is being made. So Chump is coming back into this quite nicely. But I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that the Sagire's debt has actually passed Chump's debt.
Really?
He's just been eating water all this time. He's never had a supply of water built up.
Yeah. Well, when your price is higher, when your stock price is higher, I mean, you can take advantage of that by really going to the debt hard.
But the Sagire selling off 1 unit of his own stock to build up enough money and finishes the game from there.
Today you saw me win, right? Today?
No, I didn't. I saw you got a really good
I
game.
did some real crazy stuff today.
What'd you
Early
do?
on in the game, I was playing with someone I know they go into Offworld market real early. So early in my game, knowing that they're gonna do this, I bought. Oh, good game. There you go. I bought every single item on the black market, and I kept it.
You stockpile.
So I hit his Offworld market to remove the goon squad. He caught me. Yeah, big deal. I waited a little bit later, and I hit it again, the goon squad again. Oh, yeah. Right? But then it's just so expensive for them to do it again.
Some people, they're just so desperate.
It.
They'll do anything to buy a goon squad, even if it's 80,000, over 100,000. And at some point, that money is not well spent.
That's how I made my money. I mutinied his. I would need just enough to buy him, finish him off.
Yep. So you mutinied his Offworld?
Mm-hmm.
I love mutinying Offworld. Oh, that's so wonderful. Such a good feeling. Someone's put all that money into that building, and you're taking advantage of it.
Gathered points
Poor
for
Chump. Oh my gosh.
Poor Chump, yeah. Wonder how he's doing.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Should we call him?
I would.
Okay.
Why not? You know he's awake.
Oh,
It'd be great to get some raw feelings out
You guys
there.
are awful. I thought I was being awful to you guys.
Let's see, where is Josh? Is he on here? I'll have to add him.
Let's just be nice a little, please. You just lost the game.
You were the one that was saying the game was so sad to watch.
know, but like, I feel terrible because now he really lost.